All right, so today we're doing something a little different.
Oh,
We're
wow.
actually going to be analyzing an episode of a podcast.
Great.
But it's not just any podcast.
What is it?
It's a podcast for people who are learning English.
Oh, interesting.
It's called Conversations in English.
Cool.
And I know you might be thinking, why are we doing this?
Yeah, what's the point?
But trust me on this one.
All right.
This episode is like a treasure trove of insights about how we communicate. All those little cultural quirks we have.
Yeah,
And what it's like to be in a totally new city
I like it.
for the first time.
Okay.
Specifically, we're going to be hanging out in New York City
Nice.
through the ears of someone who's never been there before.
I love that. I love that perspective. It's like we're getting a sneak peek into a whole new world.
Yeah, exactly. With
Right.
their eyes.
Yeah. It's like a backstage pass to everyday life,
Totally.
but from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
So picture this, our main character, Alex. He's on a mission.
What's he got to do to find a new jacket
Right.
in the middle of New York City?
A classic New York experience.
Right. And it's something we've all done.
For sure. Shopping for a jacket.
But the way it happens in this episode,
Yeah.
it tells us a lot about the city
Oh, I see what you mean.
and the people.
All right. I'm ready.
So right away, you notice this directness.
Oh, yeah. That New York directness.
Like bam, bam, bam.
Gotta get things done.
The conversation between Alex and the store clerk,
Yeah.
super short,
In and out.
straight to the point.
Sizes fit. Price done.
Yeah, exactly.
You see that a lot in big cities
Right.
where everything's moving so fast.
It's almost like there's this unspoken rule,
Totally.
like, hey, we all got to respect each other's time here.
Absolutely. Get to the point.
No time for small talk.
Yeah. You got to be efficient.
It's like the city itself is saying, hey, we got places to be.
Love that.
Let's go.
So true.
And even the phrases
Yeah.
that they highlight in the podcast
Okay.
for the language learners.
Like-
Things like, I'm looking for.
Yeah.
What size is this?
Like
For
that,
how
right.
much is it?
Yeah.
Like, it's all about getting down to business.
I see it.
Right.
It's not just about the words themselves, though, right?
Right.
It's like what they represent.
Exactly.
That need for clarity,
Yeah.
that need to be direct
And efficiency.
in a fast-paced environment.
You know, it's funny
Oh.
because those phrases,
Yeah.
you can use them in any situation.
That's so true.
It's not just shopping. It's
No.
like anytime you need something,
Exactly.
you just cut through all the noise.
Yeah. Just get to the point.
Just say what you need.
Love it.
All right. So
So,
Alex gets his jacket.
okay.
Mission accomplished.
Nice.
But then things get really interesting.
Oh, what happened?
He goes into a cafe
Yeah.
and he wants to join
Oh, I know this feeling.
this conversation that's already happening. You know
Yeah.
that awkward feeling?
Oh, yeah, totally.
You're trying to break into a group.
We've all been there.
Yeah, like you want to be included,
Of course.
but you don't want to interrupt.
You don't want to be rude.
Exactly.
It's that delicate balance.
So what does he do?
What's his move?
He uses those classic polite phrases.
Like what?
Is this seat taken?
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
The classics.
Right. And they seem so simple,
Totally.
but they're actually really important.
Why is that?
Well, they're like these little social cues
Interesting.
that kind of smooth things over
Yeah.
and signal to the group
What are they signaling?
that you're friendly
Okay.
and you're not trying to disrupt anything.
Yeah, you're just trying to join in.
Exactly.
It's like a way of saying, hey, I'm cool. I'm not here to cause trouble.
Right.
I just want to chat.
It's like adding oil to a machine
I like that analogy.
to make it run smoothly.
Yeah, those polite phrases
Yeah.
just grease the wheels of social interaction
And they make things less awkward.
for everyone.
Okay, so there's this one little detail that I noticed in this scene.
Okay, I'm listening.
Alex mentions that he's in New York
Yeah.
to improve his English.
Right.
Now, is that just small talk?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or is there something more strategic going on there?
I think there's definitely something strategic about it.
What do you mean?
It's like the perfect conversation starter.
Yeah.
It instantly creates common ground with the group,
Right?
and it taps into that human desire to help,
People love giving advice.
especially about their city.
It's like he's instantly created this connection point
Totally.
that opens up all these possibilities for interaction.
Yeah, and shared
It's
experiences.
like he's found his way in
He's
to
in-
the conversation.
And maybe even to the city itself.
Right. And speaking of sharing experiences,
Oh, yeah, what about that?
remember how Sarah and David,
Yeah.
they offer to give Alex tips about the city?
That was so nice of them.
I know, right?
Like, that's real New York hospitality.
Yeah, it shows that even in this big, bustling city,
Uh-huh.
there's still this sense of community.
Yeah, people looking out for each other.
And it speaks to the power of local knowledge.
Oh, yeah, local knowledge is key.
Right, it's like having this secret decoder ring
I love
for navigating a new place.
It's like having a cheat code for the city.
Yeah, and it's not just about practical stuff,
Right.
like where to find the best pizza,
Of course, that's important.
but it's also about understanding the unspoken rules.
Ooh, the unwritten rules of the city.
Those little cultural nuances
Yeah,
that make it unique.
the stuff you don't find in guidebooks.
So in just these first two scenes,
Yeah,
we've already learned so much
I know, it's amazing.
about communication styles,
Uh-huh.
the energy of big city life,
Totally.
and the power of simple phrases.
So simple, but so powerful.
You know, connections with people.
Yeah, to build a relationship.
But there's still so much more to unpack here.
Can't wait. You know what really strikes me about these interactions?
Just that.
It's how much they reveal about, like, the unspoken rules of communication.
Yeah.
Like, we always focus on the words.
Right. The actual word.
But there's all this other stuff going on underneath.
the subtext.
Exactly, the social dynamics.
Yeah.
And that's what really shapes how we understand each other.
Okay. I'm following you.
It reminds me of this concept called phatic communication.
Phatic communication.
Yeah.
Okay, break that down for me.
So think about it.
Okay.
How many times have you said something like,
Like what?
nice weather we're having?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Right. But you're not really talking about the weather.
No, not really.
It's more about just, like, making a connection.
right, just acknowledging the other person.
Exactly, signaling that you're open to interaction.
Like, hey, I see you see me. Let's chat.
Exactly.
And it's funny because we do this all the time
All the time.
without even thinking about it.
Like autopilot.
Yeah. And you see it a lot in this episode with Alex.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like when he asks, is this seat taken?
Right.
It's not really about the seat.
No, it's about wanting to join the group.
Yeah, and getting their permission.
It's like he's saying, hey, can I be part of this?
Without actually saying it.
Exactly. It's all implied.
And their response, like, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's not just about the physical space.
It's about welcoming him in.
Right. Like, come join our tribe.
It's phatic communication in action.
Strengthening those social bonds.
Even in a city as crazy as New York,
Right.
it's still about those small interactions.
They really do matter.
They're the building blocks of connection.
It's like we're constantly sending out these little signals.
Yeah. Whether we realize it or not.
Like, hey, I'm here, I'm friendly, let's connect.
Exactly.
So it's not just about newcomers or language learners.
No, not
This applies to everyone.
Think about your own life.
Okay.
Starting a new job,
Uh-huh.
joining a new group,
Okay.
even just chatting with someone at the coffee shop.
Right.
It's all about finding those connection points.
Those little rituals of social exchange.
Yeah.
It's like I've been speaking the secret language my whole life, and I never even knew it.
It's amazing, right?
And it is.
When you start paying attention to these little things,
Yeah.
you realize they're everywhere
It's like we've been given this secret decoder ring.
for understanding human behavior
Exactly. And it all starts with just observing
and reflecting
those everyday moments.
the stuff we usually take for granted.
But I have a question.
Shoot.
Do these subtle social cues,
Yeah.
do they ever backfire?
Oh, interesting question.
Like in a city known for its directness,
Right, New York.
could all this politeness
Yeah.
come across as fake?
That's a good point.
Like, are you overthinking it?
Well, it's all about context.
Okay.
What might be polite in one culture
Uh-huh.
could be totally different in another.
Right. Different strokes for different folk,
Exactly. And in New York,
where it's all about efficiency.
yeah, you got to keep it moving.
Maybe those polite phrases are just shorter,
Right, more to the point.
but they still serve the same purpose.
Smoothing those social interactions.
So it's the same dance, just a different rhythm.
I like that.
It makes you wonder how these communication styles
Yeah.
change in different places.
Across different cultures.
It's like a whole new world of communication to explore,
And it highlights the importance of being mindful,
of those cultural differences
especially when we're interacting with people.
from different backgrounds.
Exactly. We got to be sensitive to those nuances.
So for our listener
Yeah.
who maybe isn't learning a new language
Mhm.
or navigating a new city,
What's the takeaway here?
yeah, what can they learn from all this?
I think the key is awareness.
Okay.
Just becoming more aware of those unspoken rules,
The subtle cues.
the little phrases
Gestures.
that actually mean a lot.
Yeah, they carry so much weight.
And once you start seeing them,
Yeah.
you'll realize They're everywhere.
It's like we've been given a superpower.
To understand human behavior.
And it all starts with just paying attention.
To those everyday moments.
The little things.
That make up our lives.
We're not done yet.
There's more to come.
It's crazy, right? Think about these big cities like New York.
Uh-huh.
And you just imagine everyone rushing around.
Yeah, concrete jungle.
But this episode, it's really showing me.
What's it showing you?
How much human connection there is.
Even in those quick little moments.
Yeah, those little interactions can make a big difference.
Totally. And it's not just about the moment itself, right?
Yeah.
It's like the ripple effect.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine you're lost in a new city.
Oh, I've been there.
Feeling totally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then someone just offers you direction or gives you a little bit of advice.
Teaches everything.
It can totally change your whole experience.
It's like that little act of kindness makes you feel seen.
Like you belong.
And it reminds you that we're all connected.
Even in a huge city.
Yeah, like we're all in this together.
It's that pay it forward idea.
Exactly.
And it doesn't take much.
Just a small gesture.
It can have a huge impact.
And speaking of impact,
Yeah?
this whole language learning thing, it really makes you think.
About what?
About how learning a new language, it's not just about the words.
No, it's about so much more.
It's about connecting with people.
Right, building relationships.
Experiencing a culture.
From the inside out.
Yeah, like you're not just a tourist anymore.
You're part of it.
Okay, before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
I want to go back to this idea of local knowledge.
Local knowledge. Oh, yeah.
It sounds so simple.
It does.
But it's actually pretty powerful.
How so?
I think of it like a treasure map.
A treasure map. Okay.
To the city.
All right. I like it.
All those insider tips.
Yeah.
Secret spots.
The hidden gems.
The stuff only locals know.
Exactly. And you can't find that in a guidebook.
No, you got to talk to people.
Ask around.
Have those chance encounters.
Right. Just strike up a conversation.
With someone who knows the city.
And that's what makes a place feel like home.
Yeah. Not just a tourist destination.
It's about becoming part of the community.
So as we finish up this deep dive, let's bring it back to you, our listener.
Right.
We've been talking about Alex.
Yeah, his journey in New York.
Navigating the city. Learning the language.
Making connections.
But how about you?
Yeah.
How do you handle new experiences?
Right.
Unfamiliar places.
Those moments when you're outside your comfort zone.
Is the seat taken moments?
Yeah. How do you find your tribe?
Where do you find those hidden pockets of connection?
When those little acts of kindness.
Yeah, that make all the difference.
Something to think about.
For
We often take those things for granted.
I know we do.
Those little ways we connect with each other.
Subtle language.
The gestures.
But when you start paying attention, it's amazing what you can learn
about yourself
and the people around you.
It opens up a whole new perspective.
So on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive
into the world of communication. Keep exploring.
Keep connecting.
Keep learning.
We'll see you next time.